and also horned lizards throughout where they all live. There's more than one species. There are about 15 different species. And in Texas, they've disappeared in almost half of its geographic range. I'm trying to find a good picture of a range so you can understand what I'm talking about. And since people grew up playing with them, they got really worried. Why were the horny toads or horned lizards disappearing so much? And so this organization was formed to try to stop that decline. And some of the research I've done and some of the research other people have done have pointed to the fact that horned lizards, they like to eat ants, and they eat these really ginormous ants called harvester ants.
Yeah, we've learned about those. We saw those when we were looking them up on the internet, didn't we?
Yeah, they're really big, and they have quite a sting, but they're really easy to identify in nature because they make this really big clearing in the ground, and then the ants go out. They're called harvester ants because they go out and they harvest seeds from plants. And what has happened is we've had this tropical species called the fire ant, and it was introduced into the southeastern U.S. when people were importing plants from South America, and they brought this ant with them, and they didn't do it intentionally. It was an accident. The ants came in with the plants. They were in the soil, and they started in Alabama, and they spread throughout the southeastern United States, and then they came to Texas. And what happens when this ant moves in is it takes over all the other ants. There are battles, they have wars, and the fire ants usually win. And the reason they win is they just outnumber their enemies by 5 to 1 or 10 to 1. They're much smaller ants, but they're a much more aggressive ant, and they just outnumber them entirely. So they'll come through, and that means the food supply that these lizards depend on will disappear. And that's one thing. Then horned lizards have also been disappearing in places where the fire ant does not occur. And some of the reasons for that include the changing of their habitat, where it used to be a very nice, pristine, arid habitat. It's now paved over urban landscape, or it's been plowed under, and things like cotton or corn now exist where the horny toad habitat used to be. So they can't occur where there are these large-scale agricultural systems. And I just found, let me show you the range of the Texas horned lizard in Texas. I don't know how well you can see. You can probably see the blue. That's about it.
We can see it okay.
You can see, okay, good.
Yeah.
So it's actually a wide-ranging species. It occurs from Kansas through Oklahoma and into Mexico.